Hello, I'm Steve Paca with Home Standards Inspection Company. We inspect all kinds of homes. We have always inspected new construction, but we have found there are more new construction inspections coming our way. And we wanted to have a short little discussion here concerning that. I'm here with two of the senior inspectors who do a lot of our new construction inspections. This is Tim Croft and this is Paul Pachunka. Both of them had a lot of experience in construction and in new construction. And I'd just like them to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about their experience. Tim?
Hi, my name's Tim Croft. Before I did home inspections, I did the new construction for about 17 years. I was a project manager for the last 15 years. So I was involved in start to finish for new construction process. From the time they signed the contract to the time they closed on the house, they dealt with me. And that included all the final walkthroughs prior to closing and any of the warranty issues that they may have had. So I have a lot of experience with new construction and the closing process.
You know both sides.
Both sides of it.
Okay, Paul?
My name's Paul Pachunka. I do have some new construction experience, over 10 years. No closing end of the deals, but I did do from framing to the finishing product. So there's a lot of experience there where I take into doing my inspections.
All right, what makes a good home inspector? You're going to hear a little bit about that, specifically about new construction. Now, an interesting thing, like I mentioned, is we are having more calls for new construction inspections. Why have an inspection on a brand new house? I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, right? Well, we're going to talk about that. So why are we seeing more call for new houses to be inspected?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the new builders coming in town. There's a lot of new construction still going on, and there's a lot of builders trying to get into the new construction business. They haven't been around a whole lot, and they don't have a whole lot of experience with that. And a lot of these builders, they're biting up more than they can chew, realizing when it comes down to the end of the closing, they're not going to make as much money as they can or they want to. So they'll start cutting corners and doing things just to get by.
Yes.
And a lot of the sellers are paying a lot of money for those brand new houses. It should be done the right way.
That is absolutely right. Prices for new construction is way up there. You know, a little bit of history here. In the 90s, I used to build spec homes myself. I probably built about a dozen spec homes as a contractor. In the 90s, a lot of builders got out of the business because the market just dumped. So all of a sudden we have this big need for homes, and a lot of people are starting to fill the vacuum. And I think that's what Tim is alluding to here. So Paul, why do you think we're having more call for these inspections?
Well, like everything in life, there's different levels of quality, and we see that a lot in these contractors. There's an awful lot of good builders out there, but we see a lot of other builders that just do not live up to the quality that should be. So,
well, that's a good question. There are different builders, just like you buy different makes of cars or different qualities. So what are you guys finding about the different builders, and what have you recognized about builders, and how does that influence the way you walk into a house when you're called to an inspection?
Well, on if it's a quality builder that's been around for 40, 50 years, I know that the things I'm going to see, the things that I'm not going to see. A lot of these builders have been around for a long time, and they do things correctly. They use great materials, and they still use great materials. I'm finding with the newer houses, I can see lesser quality of materials in both the trim, the final product, also, which means that they're trying to save money other ways. There's just a lot of what I would say not quite quality products that they're selling at a quality new construction price. Right. If they don't install it correctly, there's a lot of things. All they want to do is just get it in there and get it closed. And they're not too worried about their quality. They're not too worried about their name. Most of these builders don't last a whole long time, rarely more than 3 or 4 years, but they still build a lot of houses in those 3 or 4 years. They're going to have a lot of problems on them.
Repeat that again. Most builders aren't in the business that long?
These newer builders aren't going to stay around very long.
How come is that?
Because after about 3 or 4 years, the quality of their product is going to come out. And word of mouth is going to get them saying, yeah, I built them. They have terrible customer service. They have terrible quality. I'm having nothing but issues in my house. After 2 or 3 years, my house is settling. I have cracking issues. I have plumbing issues. I have all kinds of issues there. They just didn't do a good job. A couple years of those houses, they're not in business very long. In Omaha, we are a very strong word of mouth community. And if you don't do a good job, people are going to talk about it. The word's going to get around that you don't do a good job.
Yep. Just like with any product, if the word gets around fast, we are a small, big town. So, Paul, why do you think? What do you think is going on with builders, and what do you notice the difference between builders? How would a buyer who isn't in construction know how to judge the quality of builder A to builder B?
That's a tough one. There are a lot of builders out there, and I think the quality ones really want to get known for their name to come out that they are a quality builder. One particular one I've been working with actually has a employee show up at our walkthroughs, and while we're giving them the list of things that are wrong, he's already on the phone having guys take care of the issues. Other ones don't care. A lot of the builders are scared that we're even there. Those are the ones that we should be there on.
Yeah, the ones who don't want us there, they're the ones we should be on. That's a good point. When we started doing these inspections 20 years ago, a lot of builders would not allow a home inspection.
That's true.
And what has allowed us to do more and more home inspections are the buyers. The buyers are demanding an inspection before they buy that house. And now it's getting to be more commonplace. When I built houses, our crew did everything. We were the old time folks. We did foundation work, we did framing, we did the drywall, we never taped it. Wasn't good enough for that. We always had subs come in for the major things. That is not the way most builders are. What is the building process? When you talk to a builder, is he the guy out there with a hammer?
No.
How does this work?
Well, the builder is basically just a general contractor. He gets the bids to build the houses. He hires all the contractors to come in. So as far as quality control, he's only as good as the subs he hires.
Right.
He's not out there doing the work, so he doesn't know what's being done. He's just told what's being done.
Thus, if you've been in business a long time, you have good contacts with good subs. If you're brand new, you're checking out the subs.
Yep.
That's probably something to pay attention to. Okay, so you go out and you do these inspections. What kind of things do you find? Why would somebody want to spend $400 on inspecting a brand new house? What kind of things are you finding?
We're finding anything from the outside, just missing caulking, minor damage to siding, a lot of grading issues out there. When they put new construction, grading is one of the things that always gets an issue within a year. It's very hard to grade around the foundation. At the time they pack the foundation grading, there's no house there, so they can't push the walls in too tight. So we get a lot of selling of the grading. Most people think that's not a minor thing, but it is a major thing. As we all know, if the water goes to the foundation, it's coming in the foundation. So if you want a wet basement, just keep your grading sunken and you'll have water in your basement in no time. So grading is a big thing. We find on the outside quite a bit. Going inside the houses, for the most part, it's a quality job, but there's a lot of safety issues I found in my years doing this. Electrical issues, I found GFIs that weren't working. We've actually identified a house where there was no outlet in the bathroom, not one outlet in the bathroom. I don't know how that passed by anybody's notification.
Because why would that be a surprise, Tim? What's the process of things like electrical being inspected in a new construction?
Well, new construction, every house does get inspected by the City of Omaha for certain things. You get your footings and footings inspected by the City of Omaha. You get all your electrical, both pre-wiring and finished, done by the City of Omaha. All your plumbing and HVAC is all inspected by the City of Omaha. as well as the framing. Before they put the drywall up, you have to have a framing inspection. So for the most part, the city of Omaha checks a lot of things on your bones of the house. They don't check a whole lot of things on the finished part of the house, what's been actually done, how it's been finished. They don't come back and see that. So it's good to get a second set of eyes on there, because a lot of times they don't see everything that they should be seeing, and they don't take as much time when they do an inspection. A city inspector's in the house for, I would say, less than 15 to 20 minutes. But of course, they're doing specialized inspections. We're there for a good 3 hours looking into everything in that house.
There is a real lack of city inspectors to inspect any property. I don't care the age of the house in any city. These inspectors are just running from one property to the other. They do a great job. The city takes this very serious. For instance, on the footings, you cannot pour concrete on earth that has been disturbed. When you dig that footing with your backhoe, if you dig down too deep and have to put in some backfill, you're in trouble with the city. The city is very particular about that. You got to pour concrete right on undisturbed soil that's been there for eons, and there's a reason for that. So the city's big on that. But we are talking about human beings, and obviously you mentioned this bathroom without an outlet. Well, who would want a bathroom without an outlet? But obviously this one had been missed. So, Paul, what kind of things do you find?
Well, it is kind of funny because questions do come about with people asking me, why do I need an inspection? The city's going to inspect it at the end. The answer I have is things that I've found on these new construction inspections. We have one particular giant builder that just come into the area lately where walls are hanging off their foundation. The gaps in the stairways that are 3 inches long that a small child could get his foot caught into. No insulation in attics before people are moving in. Can you imagine your heating bills if you had no insulation in your attic?
Wow. Yeah, that is that would be a concern. So you completed an inspection. What do you give the homeowner? What can the homeowner do with your inspection? What's the value of this report that you give to the client?
Well, when we give them that report, we're giving them a checklist of everything that needs to be done that should be completed. These things need to be completed before you close on that house. Because once you close on that house, the builder's not going to come back until the 1-year warranty. So if there's anything that you think needs to be done, you need to take care of it at that time, because you have the power before you close. The builder needs his money. He can't get his money until he closes on that house. So you want to make sure you're 100% satisfied before you sign those final papers. We give them a checklist of things that have to be done. A lot of builders think those things are very minor, but for new construction, the house is only perfect once, and that's before you move in. Once you move in, your perfection's gone. Dings, dents, little scratches start happening, and the builder is pretty much done with you at that point until your 1-year warranty. So you want to make sure you have everything done before you move in. Otherwise, you have to live with that house for a year before you get anything fixed.
So we all understand leverage. Sometimes you have leverage, sometimes you don't. So what you're saying, Tim, is that if once you make that final payment, the builder's done with you. And if you want that new construction to be just so, and you have an idea of the way a house should look, you can hold that builder to the fire, so to speak, without paying that final payment until these things are done?
Well, yeah, you just don't close on the house. If it's not done to your perfection, you don't close, he doesn't get his final money. So he's out paying construction loan interest, trying to get his money, and he'll do whatever it takes to get the house closed at that time.
It's a human condition. We have to go on to the next project. That builder has another 3 or 4 houses to go on to. So, the value of these inspections is you have men who have trained eyes who can catch these things. Most people we work with do not understand construction, do not understand the value of a tightly caulked house, or could not look at a wall and see it's out of square, or could not understand they don't even know what a GFI is. Why would a GFI be important? Well, a GFI is very important for the safety of your children. And so that's what these guys bring. And so when you move into that brand new house, you know you have a house that's safe, and you know you have a house that's secure, and you know you have a house that someone on your side was looking for quality work. And there's nobody else who will give you that information. The builder is not going to give you that information.
True, or safety issues too.
Safety issues.
Gas lines that aren't grounded out. Electrical, your whole panel at one time. was just
Electrical,
wired.
reverse polarity outlets, GFI is not working, stuff like that. Electrical issues that really should be taken
Yeah.
care of at the time before you move in. Because after you move in, it's going to be too late.
Yeah. And the city has so many inspectors, and like Tim said, they have certain times they show up, but things can happen in between and after that. I did a new construction. This furnace vented out plastic PVC pipes. I looked up into the rafters, and the pipe that is venting the gases that will kill you was separated. And so this furnace was venting carbon monoxide gases directly into the house. Now, who would have caught that? Except a home inspector who's going to be there to look at it for you, or maybe your brother-in-law. But wouldn't you rather have a home inspector tell you about it than your brother-in-law when you're in there for a week? All right. Well, we sure appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. If you ever have any questions, we are Home Standards Inspection Services, and you can look us up by looking up homestandards.com. Thank you very much.